Okay, hello again. This is my second video. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to start my cucumber, tomato, and a couple of red onion plants. Um, when I started planning, getting my stuff together to walk out to the garden to film today, I noticed that I had uh, a bunch of plastic deli containers sitting around, and these are going to work really well for starting these plants. Okay, so what I did is I happen to have this plastic jelly container that has 4 compartments, and I filled it up with potting soil. I bought like a 20-pound bag of potting soil. um I don't, it might be called peat moss. Not sure which. I had a really tight budget and I got the best that I got, and the bag is over in the carport. But it looks like really healthy, really cool soil. Um, and what I'm gonna do here is um, I also bought onion bulbs that I got at Home Depot, and these were these were $1.98. Yeah, see? $1.98 at Home Depot. And you can see that they're GMO free, very important. And what I'm going to do here is um, I am going to add water to the soil. Okay, my research tells me that um, the onions like moist soil. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this bag open and I'm going to just grab 4 bulbs here. And this one doesn't look too great. You see, little baby onions. This one doesn't feel too great either. Um, it didn't occur to me when I bought them, but it makes sense. For $1.98 and a bunch of little bulbs, they're not all gonna be perfect, and so you might have some loss. But here I picked out 4 that I think are pretty good, and you can see on the bottom the root end, and I'm just gonna stick them here in the soil. And these little containers are just big enough to get them started. They're going to need to be transplanted pretty quickly because there's not a lot of room, but I just want to get them growing. So I'm just putting them in and you want to allow the tops of the onions to just stick out of the soil. And there we go, all done. 4 nice new onion plants planted. I'll put them aside back here. I'm going to leave all these little planters out here on the table in the garden. This area gets morning sun, and where we're sitting that way, I'm facing east, slightly southeast, and the shed behind me, that's west, and then north is that way, and south is that way. So this area gets a lot of south and southeastern sun. Let's see, see what time it is here. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here now, so pretty much the sun in this area of the garden is blocked by the carport and the shed, and I've got a little over there. I'm going to start observing, how the sun is in certain areas of the garden as I look for places where I will place plants as they mature, so that they get the right amount of sun. I don't have a lot of work, a lot here to work with in my yard. Pretty much I've got this little section. I'll turn this over here and see maybe if you can see it, maybe not. But that's pretty much the area I have to work with. So, okay, let's turn this back and get it facing me. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna put the onions away. And then what I've done for tomatoes and cucumbers, okay, I got these seeds at a store called Sprouts. Some of you might have heard of that chain, others not, but this is where I bought them. Just so that everybody knows, anybody that is struggling and is on food stamps and wants to start to grow their own garden, you can purchase food plant seeds and food plants, on with your EBT card, with your food stamps. You can purchase food plants and food plant seeds. I've done a little bit of research on it, and it seems that in some places it might be difficult, like you can't use your food stamps at Home Depot or garden centers, places like that, or places that specifically sell seeds and food plants. What I would suggest is check your local supermarkets. Sprouts, I know, sells them. I would think that Whole Foods probably sells them, and I would think that Trader Joe's probably sells them. Check those sources. If you go to the grocery store, a lot of times in the produce, you'll find herbs, and those you can purchase with food stamps. You might want to consider, you might want to consider making sure that they are organic. Uh, and you need to make that decision for yourself when you're just starting out. If you can't get organic, I would go with what I can get, but plan for the next season to do your research and plan ahead so that you're starting to plant everything organic. Okay, so what I got, these are little starter soil pods, and they basically look like a little disc of stale chocolate. And the container they come in, it's kind of a frame. I've got, let's see, six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 36 here. I bought these at Home Depot. This tray I think was about $5. Um, and what'll happen with these is, I'll get them wet, and then I'll plant a seed or two in each one. And when they sprout, the roots will start to grow around this little disc of dirt and grab it, and then you just replant the whole thing into a bigger pot. I've got a lot of really nice pots that happen to come with the house, and then I've acquired very inexpensively used, um, since I've lived here. Um, One day somebody was selling these really nice ceramic planters, uh, really cheap, and I got them from for like $5 each. So I have those when I transplant. Okay, now, so I'm not going to use all of these in this tray because for me, this is my first try at this. I'm a little late in the season, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little other trays that I found that I had this morning, and I'm going to do 6 of them in there. Also, I found out after I bought this tray that cucumbers and tomatoes don't like each other, so they should be kept separate in your garden. So I'm going to take 6 more here, and so they all have some space, so they're not too crowded. Okay, and then let's get this out of the way. Okay, and I've got my cucumber seeds and my tomato seeds. I don't know, these are San Marzano tomatoes. They look kind of like Romas. I was looking for Romas. I like Romas because they're one person. And so I'll use for a meal or a salad, I'll use half to a whole Roma, a small Roma tomato and not leave a tomato sitting in the refrigerator too long. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get these saturated. So I'm going to pour some water in here. Oops, that's blocking me. I'm going to get these saturated. I might pour too much water in that. Yeah, it looks like these take a little minute to soak up the water. And once they soak up the water, yeah, they puff up and they get a little softer. And now that I'm seeing as these are expanding, they have a little mesh covering which holds the little. And this is probably some sort of biodegradable material. And wow, they soaked all that water up. So we'll put some more in. And I've got 2 minutes on my YouTube video allowance. Okay. So what we're going to do here, and you probably should have some tools, maybe tweezers. I'm going to just pour a couple of these out. These are tiny. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one in each little thingamajigger here. And that one got 2. That one got 1. Yeah, I'm going to put 2 in each one for good measure. They're tiny. Tweezers would really be helpful. All right, and then I'm just going to close up these seeds. And oh, the cucumber seeds are much bigger. Okay, Alright, I'm going to have to wrap it up on this video because it's getting to be 15 minutes, and that's all the time a new YouTube creator has to upload a video for. And so please check out my links below for my social media and other information, and thank you for watching.